Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Draft of the Future. It's Ryan. As always, like and subscribe below. But today I'm really excited to bring you a player who is in this draft process, trying to find a chance just to get a shot. He is an offensive lineman from Wofford. And without any further introduction, we have Quincy Hughes. How you doing, Quincy?
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So I want to get everybody a little bit about like who you are and where you came from. We're actually not too far apart from where we grew up. I know you went to Princeton High School in Ohio, and you played lots of positions in high school. I saw DT, tight end, offensive line. Did you play any other sports besides football?
Not in high school.
Okay.
A little bit earlier, I ran track, did wrestling. Um, I tried out for baseball and soccer, and never, never made those. So mostly, pretty much football, especially through high school.
Okay. And then when high school was coming to a close, I know the recruitment process is crazy. When it came to choosing your school, what made you pick Wofford?
I think it really just came down to that was the place that they were showing me the most love as a person.
Okay.
Um, I was in that weird COVID timing, class of 21, so it's like you're getting all types of we want you, maybe not, maybe. And Wofford was the one place where it was like, we want you to come here. We want you to come here and play. And the it was funny because my visit, I wasn't able to go to the actual campus, but my visit was a FaceTime. And I saw the campus, and some of the guys reached out, and I knew it was the place for me.
That's awesome. And I saw you actually got action pretty early in your career, and then you had a little injury that was a setback, but you were a starter ever since. You had over 2,000 snaps as left tackle. Um, and I felt like you improved every year. And do you think that Wofford is a big part of what made that improvement happen?
Yeah, I do. I think so. And then on top of that, it helped that I had Coach Woods, my offensive line coach, and he was able to break down every little bit of my technique, like to the finest detail. And I'm a detail orient, like I'm huge on those, on the details. What can I do to get better? So, me and him and our relationship, I think that helped. That helped skyrocket it because then I can go in this office and we're breaking down these little things with my foot, and it can make a difference in my set. And so I think Wofford, yes, I think having the coaches and the culture surrounding to push me to get better definitely helped.
Now, in the NIL world, you're used to seeing guys move around a lot. I watched a little bit of interviews from you where you talked about Wofford and the commitment there. Can you talk about what made you so committed to staying there and just sticking it through with your time?
Well, the biggest thing first was after my senior year, uh, I was in a place where I didn't know what I was going to do. I was thinking about transferring, thinking about staying, but I prayed on it heavy. And for some reason, God kept tugging my heart to come back. And then once I decided that I was going to come back, I realized that everything I still want. It might be a little different. The journey is going to be different, but everything I want in terms of professional football is still in front of me. Um, and so when I realized that I can still attain my goals and then build more relationships and connections while staying another year, I was I was all for it. Um, and we have a lot of young guys. We had a lot of young guys at Wofford, and to be like, because I always think life is, I love football, but life is bigger than football. And so if I can pour into these guys as people and humans and you know stuff like that, that's to me more valuable than a check. And
Yeah.
that's just me though. So
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. One thing that I found interesting is, at least according to the analytics, your best game every year that you started happened to be Furman. And I didn't know this before I started, finding out about you, but Furman's like your guys' big game. That's the one. Um, and the last 2 years, you allowed zero pressures in each game. You didn't obviously didn't allow a sack. Um, as a competitor and a player, what's it like being able to do that against like your biggest rival?
It's exactly how it sounds. It's fun. I'm somebody where walking around day to day, I might not, you know, look the angry part or on fire, but when it comes to football, there's a mode that you switch into, and then on top of that, when you spend the whole week talking about this rivalry and you have alumni reaching out and all your old buddies from a few years ago, they're gonna be at this game. So it becomes like, all right, it's like it's that. So um, those games, and I'll just go out there and I play the game, and by the end of the game, we see how I did. Uh, but I definitely think those rivalry games, you get a little like just a little more pumped up going into each of them for sure.
Okay, so Wofford film is somewhat hard to come by, honestly, but I watched as much as of your tape as I could because in my the way I found you is that my like my formula pointed you out as someone that I should look at because you scored well in my system. So when I started watching your tape, some of the things that I liked about your tape was you have patient but powerful hands. Like a lot of guys, they lunge or get their hands out in front of them too quick, but you were very very patient with your hands. You've got good athleticism, and I think the thing that I like the most is that you're always looking for work. Like if the play wasn't coming your way, you were going to find somebody. And so, can you talk about, obviously those are the things I saw, but what do you consider your strengths as a player?
Um, on pretty much what you pointed out, I think the biggest thing is the looking for work. Um, I think if you're not actively blocking somebody, go look for somebody to block. Whether that's somebody who's already getting blocked, and you go chip them, or go up and find a safety, because those are what springs to big plays. Another thing that at least I tried to detail throughout my career was just my attention to detail in every play. Uh, so knowing my opponent, knowing what kind of step, is he a bigger guy? Can I, take a few more steps, or do I got to go now? Um, so I think breaking down the film, looking for work, and I think the biggest thing is since I'm making a transition from tackle to center, I think that, in my opinion, will help me even more because then I'm in the middle of the play. Yes, there's more bodies and there's a lot going on, but after that tackle, if your DN drops, there's you can add back in. But if you're at center and you have nobody, you could be like a pinball and rock back and forth and just catch bodies essentially.
Yeah.
Um, so I think just looking for work, and that's something I'll tell my young guys too. It's like if you're not blocking somebody, go look for somebody, and if they're already being blocked, go hurt them. like, so yeah.
That's awesome. And the opposite side of that, what are the things that you are working on, the areas that you think you need to grow in?
I think the biggest thing, especially like I mentioned, making the transition, is my run game footwork and being able to be explosive off the ball. I think that's something that it was hit or miss, and I kind of not struggled, but there were tendencies of not always being like super explosive, especially on the front side of stuff. Um, so while I'm making the move inside, I want to be more of a factor in the run game. Um, there was never anything detrimental or too bad, but I want to be able to make an impact just as much in run as I can pass. And then I would also, mm, yeah, I think that's it. Yeah.
Okay. So the draft process is crazy. And I, as a diehard Bengal fan, saw that you were just at our local visit. So how did that go?
It was good. It was good. It was a rather quick workout, about 20, 30 minutes, but it was good. Good work. Got a chance to, put on one more performance in front of coaches and have them, scout me one more time. It was good though. The everything felt good, felt clean, And it was a really cool experience because I've only been in one other stadium before when we played at Pitt. And so walking into the stadium and, living in Cincinnati, we drive by it. And so you'll see it from the outside, but like being inside and seeing it and the people inside and the operations behind it, I think that was just as cool as the actual on the field stuff. So it
Yeah.
was nice. It was a cool experience.
Yeah, I was super interested to see that you got the local visit because Scott Peters is a guy that really like he's known for his like his use of hands and how he coaches those guys up, and that being something that I think you're good at made me like, oh, he's that's a guy he's gonna like. Is there what are you typically trying to do when you have these moments in front of coaches and scouts? Like, what are you just trying to like leave them with when you are trying to make an impression on them?
I believe that I always say that when it comes to time to perform, I just got to do what I've been practicing. And so when it comes to it, like I don't get in a super like worked up mood where I gotta go and lay out and do all the most. I just got to go out and execute what I've been doing. Um, and I think that more than anything, I think keeping the composure while being able to show the good technique, throw violent hands. Um, One thing I think about and try to work on and try to do is my interactions with the other players, because that's another thing they look at. And you're being one thing I've learned is like I get evaluated on every little tiny detail, whether I realize it or not. um, so I think the interactions with the players, interactions with training staff, I think, I don't know if they look at it, but if they do, I want those to be the things that pop out just as much as how good my feet are, or how good my sets are.
Yeah, it's awesome. Have you had any contact with other teams throughout this process?
Not directly. My coach, my NFL liaison coach at Wofford, and my agent have been in contact with a few.
Okay.
And that's I think that's been the most difficult part of this is just the patience and the quietness, because I'm more than likely going to be undrafted free agent, which I'm cool with. I'm all right. All I need to do is get my foot in the door, and based on what I'm hearing from my agent and coaches, that's going to happen. At least an opportunity. So yeah.
Okay. And that, I mean, that comes to my next question is like, you know, being that it's likely that UDFA is probably the route. When you get that shot, how do you make your mark and how do you show them the value you can bring to a team?
That's a good question. Probably the things I was just talking about. I think you know I'm being evaluated based on my football skill. Um, but if I go out, I execute my football skill, and then my off the field character shows just as much that I'm somebody that I didn't want to keep around. I think that's what I'm trying to do. Um, I believe like making a lasting impression. Uh, make it to be somebody where they're like, we don't want to get rid of this guy. We got to have him around. He's good to the locker room, good people. Um, I just want to go somewhere and be able to elevate, whether it's the O line room or the team. Uh, and another thing I'll do is I'll if a coach needs me at whatever position, maybe maybe not wide out, but offensive line wise or a blocking tight end or whatever it needs to be, I'll go out there and I'll do it. Um, so I think just that willingness uh, to be a tool, be a Swiss Army knife, be whatever a team needs.
Hey, don't count yourself out at wideout. You know, they've been doing that a lot more lately. I saw you've got good lateral movement. I think you'll be fine.
Yeah,
uh, so we've obviously we interviewed your teammate Maximus Pulley, and I loved his film and I really enjoyed my conversation with him. What can you tell me about Maximus as like a player and like as a leader?
I think in both regards, player, leader, person, he's somebody that you get around him and it's contagious. Like whatever, like in whatever aspect it is. I'll speak to the leading part first. We had 4 fifth years this past season. Um, so all four of us were the captains and mostly looked at as like the leaders of the team. And I think in the leading regard, Max was somebody where I would look at, and on the offensive side, I was the only fifth year. Um, and so it's a little harder for me, but I would look at Max and the way he leads and the confidence that he leads with, and it would encourage me to do the same. And then just as a person, he's he's very big on following God, following God no matter what. And for me, that's something that I try to do in my life day to day. And so being able to listen to him and I hear how he speaks and talks about people and has relationships, and it pushes me to do the same. And so I think having somebody like him, where they say iron sharpens iron, but it's real. Him, and then we had another guy, Brandon Mena. Um, and so when you have guys who are just trying to be the best versions of themselves in every aspect, it definitely makes it easier to push yourself. So Max is like the embodiment of all that. And so I'm excited to see what happens for him in this process.
Yeah.
I know he's going to be great. And, he's another guy where he just needs an opportunity. So,
Yeah. So you've talked little bit about being like this, wanting to be your best on and off the field. Who is Quincy off the field? What do you get into? What's your normal life like?
Quincy off the field. I am an older brother. I have four younger siblings. One of them goes to Ohio State, but the other three are here in the city. So being an older brother to them, I like to fish. I'm not overly skilled at it. In Ohio River, Ohio fishing isn't like South Carolina, but I like to fish. I enjoy being outside, just sitting with nature. Um, I love Jesus. I love Jesus. I just try to be like him every day. And then, I have a cat.
All
So
right.
me and my cat, we chill and hang out and play. And uh, so I try to, when it's time to work and it's time to, go to the gym or go to the field and put in the work, that is that time. I gotta be locked in. But outside of that, I allow myself to be as goofy or as fun as I feel that day. I like to bake, cook. My grandma can attest to that. I'll throw down in the kitchen, but I try to pick up hobbies. Try to pick up as many things as possible, especially being out of college now. Because being in college, you have meetings, lift, go get an extra meeting, go lift, go practice. You have a full schedule, but now it's like you're training, and then now what? So trying to focus on that, look at that off the field person just as much as on the field.
What are you throwing down in the kitchen? What's like your go-to meal you're gonna cook?
Anything. Recently, I've had this addiction to making like salmon bowls, like poke bowls. Get some little salmon bites, some rice, avocado, cucumber. Uh, I can almost any variation of chicken. Uh, that's throughout this draft process and trying to really hone in on my body and what it looks like. I've been eating a lot of chicken, so learning different ways to make that. 2 nights ago, I made some like honey garlic chicken with asparagus, and then bacon wise, I can bring them to you myself, but I can throw some brownies down. I can throw brownies down. Like a pan will not last a day. So
All right. Hey, yeah. Next time I visit my family in Cincinnati, I'll have to swing by.
yeah.
um, so I guess the last couple things here is, when during this process, you're kind of like selling yourself the entire time, right? So what do you bring to a team on and off the field if they're bringing you in?
I think on and off the field, they'll be bringing in a guy who's just I'm all about the work. Um, that's like my biggest thing. I have it written down on my door frame. You can't duck the work. because truly the work and the intentionality that what you do it with is the results you're going to get. So I'm somebody where I want to come in and literally whatever, if you, whatever position you need, I will play it, I will learn it, and if I'm not good at it, I'm gonna ask questions. I'm gonna ask questions because I want to be the best version of myself for me and for the team. Um, and I think off the field, you're gonna get somebody where you can just talk to, and be real. I think. I mean, I haven't been in that space yet, so I'm not sure. But at least in college, those connections, the relationships, they can be deep, but also relationships can be shallow sometimes. And I want to be somebody where I'm coming and you can just talk to me. Uh, somebody to depend on and off the field. I think that's what I want to bring the most. You know,
Yeah. And then I guess last thing, I'm hopeful and confident that you're going to get your shot. When you get your shot, um, what makes you confident that you're going to take advantage of that shot?
that's a good question. My That's been my mindset this whole time, is to just get my foot in the door. Uh, and when I get there, then at that point it's just do what I've been doing. But now I'm here, and I just got to stay around. My mindset has been, whether it's a signing, whether I get signed off rip, whether it's just a camp invite, no matter what it is, I got to get in there and I have to show them that I'm a guy that they want to have around, they want to keep around. Um, so on and off the field, but when it comes to on the field, it just comes down to playing football. I think offensive line, you got to be aggressive and technical in the run game, and then pass, you just got to lock it down. And that's my mindset. I'm thinking just come in and dominate, uh, and just execute, really more than dominate. Just execute my job at a high level and be consistent with it. I truly believe if I get in there and I'm consistent with what I do and the attitude with which I do it, I think I'll have a good shot to stick around. Um, you know, all I'm just opportunity, just waiting. So
Yeah. Well, first off, I want to thank you for your time. I really do appreciate you hopping on here with me. As a Bengals fan, a team that needs a future at center, I'd love to see you in stripes and learn behind Ted Karras and those guys. But anything else you got for me before we call it a day?
no, I appreciate you. Appreciate you reaching out and the things you're doing for this draft class. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, best of luck to you. And hopefully I'll get to see you getting your opportunity here soon. Thanks again.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.